My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we have noticed throughout the years that there has been a subsection of dramas that have emerged in which the marketing materials for said dramas provide a fictional narrative about what genre of drama you're about to watch. And this has gotten people, the most infamous one, of course, Suspicious Partners. You got My Shy Boss. And recently, we've had a new entry to this particular situation with the new Netflix drama, Can This Love Be Translated? Which, if you're looking at the posters, seems like you're about to watch.
Can these posters be translated?
A sweet little, like, globe-trotting rom-com between a translator or an interpreter and a celebrity, like a love triangle with like a Japanese actor and a Korean actor and all. And technically, yes.
Technically, that is there.
Technically, yes, you do. But they really omit a big thing that we're not going to talk about yet.
Yeah.
Because this is a spoiler episode for the drama, Can This Love Be Translated? And if this is your first time attending a spoiler episode of ours, we do a little bit of pre-spoiler, non-spoiler stuff. And then we tell you when the spoilers start, so you can't get mad at us.
For some dramas, it's easier than others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like as far as how far we can talk.
And this one, to be honest, it is not difficult to start.
I mean, before we started this, we were saying if we had done one of the typical where we just watched the first two episodes, the first two episodes were that. They were definitely that.
That's true.
And,
yeah.
And we would have been like, yeah, okay.
Seems
and then
nice.
anybody who watched the whole show and came back would be like, are you guys on crack? Like, what did you? You missed a lot.
We can't talk about that yet. Because we're here to talk for the people who have only watched the first two episodes so far. Then we're going to go in and be like if y'all only watched the first two episodes, you were on crack. Because we got a lot of stuff going on.
And also, just as an FYI, I don't know how much this is going to be picked up on my mic, but they are currently removing snow like right outside my house. So sorry if you hear stuff in the background, but it's needed. The snow is crazy.
Yeah. And if it is audible, I'm going to try to delete that. And if I don't, well,
what
are you going to do?
Some bonus beeps, yay.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So now, also, if you are like us, a My Drama List user, you may have gone and looked at the synopsis on My Drama List. Don't. It's absolute nonsense.
It's crazy how bad it is.
Like, I hadn't read it because people who listen to the show, and these three ladies here know, I do not really read synopses or anything before clicking play on something. I am a vibes-based watcher. Like, it's if I watch a trailer, it's a miracle. I just sort of pick something. So I had absolutely no idea what the show was. All I knew is that Jessie and Sky were like, oh, a lot of people are talking about this drama. We should do an episode on it. Then we had a discussion do we all have time to do the whole thing, to do a spoilers? Should we do a thing? And I was like, yeah, I can watch the whole thing. So I clicked play. And so to be honest, the premise that was presented in the first couple episodes, I was actually pretty down with, because I can watch anything. And that is, there's a girl. She found out her boyfriend been stepping out on her with a Japanese ramen shop owner. So she has gone to Japan, and she's like a D-list actress. She's not doing great in her acting career. But so she goes to Japan to confront him, okay? And confront this woman. And then she has a run-in with this just dude who turns out to be an interpreter by trade. He speaks a shit ton of languages, and he gets sort of roped in to translating between her and this lady who runs this ramen shop, who is now pregnant, heavily pregnant. And then, they have an awkward time. And then they have a nice little encounter with each other, not a sexual encounter. They're just like vibing together. And she's like, hey, you should follow me on Instagram. You can be my 10,000th follower. And then when I get famous, you can tell people that you knew me when. And he's like, maybe later. So they separate, they go their separate ways. And she goes back to Korea where she has been cast in this horror movie. And she has they then shows scenes of them making this horror movie where she's like, I don't know what the goddamn plot of this movie is.
Nobody on the set really knows what's going on.
Knows what the no one but the director has like a vision. And she's like, I think this is probably gonna be like another one for the bin from me. And due to like a series of like the director is having like problems with the stunt people, she's like, I will do my own final stunt so we can all go home. And the final stunt is her character, who's like the queen of the zombies, falling off a building. It goes great. Everything's great. They're about to call wrap. Then they drop her off the building by accident. She then wakes up 6 months later out of a coma to find out that this movie has gone like mega viral.
Yeah.
And she is now like the world's biggest star. Okay.
Yeah,
and people
it goes
fucking love
viral
her.
Mostly because of her and her accident.
Yeah.
It's not just like it's
her
a
accident,
fun...
and also her acting in the movie people really enjoyed. And so she then wakes up just confused as hell because now she's famous and everyone loves her when
in all the countries.
In every country.
Over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after a few mini shenanigans, she then gets cast in this like romance travel show with this Japanese actor to travel to like sightseeing locations and, visit Canada and Italy and all, beautiful locations to go on like we're on like a romantic trip, like dating show / travel show where they will have an interpreter translating for them. And guess who this interpreter is? It's the dude she met in Japan.
Shocker.
And that's basically the first 2 episodes, okay? And that's a pretty good premise. It's like a pretty good start for a premise.
Yeah.
If you're about to watch a rom-com.
Yeah. It's a premise that like I was like about, and that's why
I was like,
I
this is fine. At first I was like,
I
I don't know why people are talking about this show. It seems pretty
norm.
I also hadn't realized who the writers of this show were, which if I had actually looked into that, I might have thought, I feel like there's probably going to be a little something extra
and you're like,
in this. Because this was written by the Hong sisters. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Hong sisters, they're pretty infamous, and they write a lot of sort of more offbeat, shall we say, shows, and a lot of people have some, I think, rather unfair opinions about the work of these 2 women. But they've written Alchemy of Soul, Hotel del Luna, Korean Odyssey, Skies and Mine's favorite drama, Warm and Cozy. Sky and I are not warm and cozy. She wrote The Master's
Love
Son.
Alchemy of Souls. I wish to be very clear.
Yes,
Hotel del Luna is one of my favorite shows of all time.
They wrote The Greatest Love, which I love. Doko Jin, baby. Like, they wrote My Girlfriend's Coming. They wrote You're Beautiful. They've written so many bangers. Okay, like literally. Like, if you think of, like, overdone tropes that exist in K-dramas, it was because they came up with them. Like, for real. Like, their older dramas are the origins of most of these, like, silly tropes that people are like, oh, I roll, like, when they get used. Like, they all start somewhere. And that somewhere is the Hong sisters. But the thing about the Hong sisters is there's always a bit of a... How do we put this? There's always a bit of a... offbeat situation that happens.
Somebody in one of my group chats says, I started the new one. It's the Hong sisters. Is it going to be normal Hong sisters or crazy Hong sisters?
Which brand of Hong sisters?
Both, baby.
Both.
It's gonna be both.
There it is.
Yeah. So this is at the point where we say spoilers are going to be coming from this
there's
point
no
forward
way we can do anything.
Things went down in this rom-com drama.
Things did go down in this.
So the main thing that goes down is that you very quickly find out that this poor actress, who's very sweet and kind, actually has severe PTSD.
Yes.
And this PTSD sort of emerges in the form of her seeing hallucinations of herself as the character she played in the movie that just says unkind things to her specifically that she would never voice aloud to other people. But then
so it kind of starts as like hallucinations. Manifestations of that character like talking at her.
And so she then has panic attacks about this, and this poor interpreter in Japan, and this poor interpreter has to bring her to the doctors to interpret the situation. And of course it's like, oh, it must be anxiety because you're a female. Like, listen, we know that's how mental health works for women. Anything that's wrong with you. Are you sure it's not anxiety? Hysteria, perhaps, ladies? And then you find out more about her family. Specifically that she was raised by her uncle and aunt who hate her. They really were holding grudges against a 6-year-old, huh?
Yeah. They're terrible human beings.
They were really, and the first introduction you have to these people is him witnessing them at the hospital while she's in a coma, telling the doctors, we don't care if she lives or dies, don't contact us.
Yeah.
Like, we do not give a shit about her. And he's like, damn, like, these people are crazy. And then her hallucinations then become a second personality that take over her nights, shall we say. And she goes on wild adventures with this interpreter and makes poor life decisions in other ways.
To be clear, the interpreter is more like a chaperone trying to make
trying to
absolutely, because he's the only one who really knows this and believes her. Like, he's the only one who like actually
realizes
like,
that
you
this is
are
another.
not doing okay, and I want to help you, which at this point all the doctors aren't helping her.
Like she goes to see the doctor and he's like, does a scan, and he's like, nope, there's nothing wrong with your brain, that medicine
nothing wrong with you.
Bye.
Because she was like, is this like a side effect of the like falling off a building, like
But then you find out, and here's where the real spoiler comes in. There's like a triple spoiler on this one, okay? Because like you then find out that what she has lived through as a child was her mother poisoning her father, killing her pets
on her birthday,
poisoned birthday cake on her birthday, and then being like, "Hey, eat the poison cake. I'll eat the poison cake, and we can all die together because." If just me and your father die, no one's ever going to love you again. So she jumped out of the building and lived.
She was
and
like,
then pretended she didn't remember any of it. So then you get this second part of the show where he's really grappling with learning, like, oh, about this whole, like, oh, your parents were murdered in front of you. Like, yeah, obviously you're mentally ill. Now, this was the one thing about the show. That then when they revealed this in the last episode, I was like, y'all can't be revealing this in the last, you all can't be doing this. You do not have enough time to reveal this third twist.
Kind of revealed it
It was so great. I loved every second.
A nesting doll of twists, shall we say.
I love it.
The real, like, cherry on the twisted poisoned cake was that her parents were not fucking dead.
Yeah.
That they were both alive and well. They had both been saved because someone saw her jump out of the building and called the ambulance and saved everyone's lives. And then sent her to live with the uncle and aunt who treated her like shit, and then since they were from like a rich family, covered it up, and both the mom and the dad just like fucking left the country.
Mom didn't even go to jail.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, like, well, they covered it up, right? They got to cover it up,
covered
right?
it up.
But then, I'm just,
Yeah. It was great.
The reason they were so mean to her is because she looked exactly like her mom.
Mm-hmm.
So the double, triple, quadruple twist.
Well, she looked like it. She was a manifestation of all the like bad things that are happening and making the family look bad. Like,
yeah. And so the alternate persona that she saw was not her character from the horror movie, but her childhood memory of her mother. And it was
essentially triggered when she first fell because it's exactly
what happened.
Because that's
she
what
did
happened
when she was
her.
little.
Yeah.
And then it manifested even stronger because things in her life were going well.
Yeah.
And so she had been like kind of in the state where people were always telling her that she was terrible. She pretended like she didn't remember about what happened to her parents because everybody thought she was weird for it and thought she was creepy and they didn't like hang out with her. So she was like, I just won't bring it up at all. And then she's like constantly like at every point in the show, she's like, things just don't happen good for me. They don't turn out well for me. So like, I try not to like put my faith in things because it's just not ever going to go well.
No one's ever going to love me. Nothing's ever going to end up well because that's what the twisted remembrance of my mother has told me this whole time, which is very sad.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
And it was done. Okay, listen, I'll be honest. K-dramas, traditionally, most media has not really done mental illness.
No.
Particularly well.
No.
I will say this. This was not a mean-spirited way to depict mental illness.
No, I think this was a very theatrical way of depicting it. It was very much centered in it being visual, artistic.
Yeah.
Like it was, I really think that they did do a good job of like that being kind of the main focus. It's not that like they are thinking this is what goes on in someone's head. No. It was just an artistic choice.
So I wish to point out, some people have critiqued as far as it definitely is not a clinical look at mental illness.
Sure.
No, and so like
absolutely.
if that can justifiably really bother someone. Like,
oh, absolutely. I don't think
that can be upsetting if that is, a trigger free. Sure. This can be a very triggering show.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a theatrical, artistic interpretation of what we are seeing of what her character's going through, which I thought was very well done. But it is definitely not a clinical look at
it is not an accurate portrayal of what someone with dissociative identity disorder and PTSD would be going through.
Yeah.
But that would be hard to depict in a televised manner that would make sense to relay the information.
Yeah. Like, I think what I struggled with a little bit were twofold. One, whenever she was the other character, they had kind of like circusy jive music kind of playing in the background. And I was like, I don't find this funny. Like, she's traumatized. I don't. Well, but they seemed like they were kind of playing it for laughs somewhat, not entirely, but also just.
I feel like it was like hearkening.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just feel like it was hearkening back to since they were for a long time saying like, oh, this was her character on the show, and that was the music.
I thought it was supposed to be because she's always wearing her costumes, even the bloody costumes.
Yeah, and so like that character was known for like this comedy.
And I was like, oh, she switched dresses, and then you find out at the end why the dress
because it's becoming even more.
She's becoming more her mother instead of. But I also thought I don't know. He was very much playing kind of the role of a psychiatrist for her. And I was like, I don't know. Curing mental illness with the power of friendship, it doesn't feel like the vibe. But
definitely, but like also they like early on they tell she goes to the doctor and she's like, "Is this something physical?" No, and she's like, the doctor's like, "Go to the psychiatrist," and she's like, "I already did, and they told me to come here." So nobody was helping.
No
her.
one's helping.
Like,
no, absolutely.
He's
like, it
not qualified for it, but he literally was her
trying.
only hope
But
in this presentation.
I was like, I don't think knowing a lot of languages it qualifies you as a psychiatrist, but somebody had to help her, so
I gotta say, but when she's in the delusion inside of her mind and it's in the like a setting that like a childish remembrance of what her childhood home was like, that set design was sick as hell. I was like, I know that this is like an over the top, like, you know, childish rendering of an apartment, but I want to live in this apartment.
Right? It felt very theater, didn't it, Jessie?
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
theater.
It was so good. Like, I just like loved every second of it because it was also just like so creepy too. But it was like, you're looking at it and you're like, yes, this is like this poor girl who's like, her deepest, darkest memory is this like memory when she's still developing and she doesn't even know what's going on. Like she shouldn't have like figured out that like her mother was poisoner like at that young age too. And she did. It's just like, it was amazing. Like I really think the design of the room was just so good, or the apartment. Yeah.
But I was just struck with, I was like, okay, I know that this is supposed to be like a creepy, like unrealistic, childish, like apartment. I fucking live in this apartment.
Well, also,
this apartment is so cool.
It also like changed. Like the cake was a very realistic cake the first time you see her memories of this. And then at the end when she realizes that the woman that is her mom that you don't see the head of, when she crouches down to be like, you should eat this cake, the cake is very fake and very cartoonish.
And I think there was like little things like that really show that's like the people making this show really wanted like to visually bring in the concept of what like her trauma.
Rather than the levels like, that she was going through and how it was developing and showing up.
And I thought that was like a very nice way of doing it, rather than just having a psychiatrist be like, "Well, it seems like her delusions are being draining."
Admittedly, would like positive visualization of psychiatrists being helpful? Like, would that be good in any society? Yes. I mean, yes, we know all of that, but like,
one show can't fix all the social ills in the world. Let's just.
But you know. I do want to point out as well. I don't really believe. I liked how the love line between the two main characters was much later and like very delayed and very careful around all of this. It did not. So like you said, kind of like power of friendship being healing. That is definitely what it felt like to me. It really wasn't like romantic love.
Especially because she very clearly had a crush on him and he still wasn't like pursuing it. Not in like I'm just a grumpy guy kind of way. He was actively being like, you need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very well done without being too heavy-handed about like making him a hero because of it. It just was well drawn out that way, I thought.
Yeah. There was also a delightful Japanese character in the poor actor who is her foil on this fictional show.
I love him so much. Once he came on screen, I was like, "Oh, you're in here!"
Like he was so funny because he starts out like he has such like an attraction and an aversion to this woman because you find out very quickly that he's just like he's a hot mess. Like,
he really is.
He's
an immature hot mess.
Yeah, he's just he has like this perfect like public visage, and he's just like a whiny little like allergic to everything, always cold, like just always working out, just miserable little gremlin of a man. Who in one half of him is like, this woman is so attractive and so entrancing. and I am so attracted to her. But on the other hand, not a big horror movie guy, and so can't really like distance her very creepy character that made her famous from her. And then since he cannot understand her language for the first half of the show, is constantly just misinterpreting everything she's doing as just being some of just the most horrific like stuff. And meanwhile, she's just like, this guy, he seems like he's so nice. Like he just seems like a polite. Like
meanwhile, he's just calling her a zombie the entire time.
Meanwhile, he's like, this is the creepiest woman I've ever met. And it's just like, but you kind of want some of that, huh?
Yeah.
And he was really.
I enjoyed how that was like most of the comedy of the show.
Yeah. Was just him being stupid. Yeah. I love like the reverse straight man comedy angle where it's like just the dumbass. And he was just like the dumbass. And there was even like points where like he's home with his like sister and his niece, and the sister and the niece are just like, you're so stupid, you're so dumb. And it's just like, I like the show had a lot of little moments like that you're just like, this is like, these are well thought out, well fleshed out characters. Like even like these secondary characters, like you also meet a large part of the show is her longtime manager, who only got the job. He's so sweet. Who only got the job through nepotism because his uncle runs the company, like her agency, and just basically tossed his idiot nephew off to the lowest ranked actress that they had, right? But meanwhile, she then blows up, and so this guy suddenly has like a really important like job that he wasn't.
But he has always cared for her.
Yeah,
like,
they're
so like a brother.
Yeah, they're so good together, and like they didn't do like the thing where you're like hinting maybe this will be the second. No,
this was his little sister.
They were.
He was treating her like a little sister.
So sweet.
It was just, he was so cute. But it did lead into one of my favorite unexpected moments his character led into, which was, who knew there was going to be a Lee June cameo?
I was dying not like saying
not telling me.
When I saw that, I went,
Natalia's gonna lose.
Especially because it's like for 2 seconds.
Like, I don't know how they got him on, but like for anyone who doesn't know, I have like a weird thing about Lee June. Okay, like I just get very, I don't know what it is. I get very excited about
a lot
Lee
of people
June.
it's
are excited about
justifiable.
him.
And there was a surprise, literally 10-second cameo with Lee June getting thrown under the metaphorical bus by this manager that was so good.
The manager didn't even try to do it.
He didn't even do it up. He didn't even know it was happening.
Because the show does a lot with like the miscommunication trope, obviously. But like in kind of very subtle ways like this too. It's like not the end of the world, but he did like mess up that relationship kind of.
He messed up that guy's day, probably a week.
He just moved into that place and he's getting yelled at.
Oh my goodness. I was just so excited. I was like, Lee June! Because I always go, Lee June! Every time I see him, and I'm not expecting to see him. It's always exciting.
There's a lot of cool, like, because when his manager, the Japanese actor's manager came in, I recognized her because she's in Alice in Borderland. Yeah. But when he went to his sister's house, I was like, damn, that sister looks so familiar. And then I looked it up, and they were both in Koinaka together. So it's like a lot of like putting together like some of the actors. So probably like they just were like, Ijun has been in a couple of Netflix shows. Get him in this bit part.
And they definitely had a moment where they did the like, oh, we have to say the title of another Netflix show within a Netflix show. So they're like culinary war.
I love that. So
it's like a bingo card. Like, okay, which one are they gonna like mention on this?
What time does it come in? There's also a character that I absolutely love, and I'm sure that all of us loved because he's also our favorite actor, and it's Kim Won-Hae's character.
Kim Won-Hae.
So much. So he plays a friend of the interpreter, and like just his family in general, I guess, too. He's an
sort of
author,
family, like fake
family,
uncle,
but also like
situation.
so like he gets him to interpret a lot of like on his book tours and stuff, and he's just like the guy that like has some like good quippy like insightful things and like pushes like narration around, but he's just so good in it. It's just such a good character.
Just being like a meddling uncle, like a meddling uncle who just wants to see his lovely nephew married and happy.
You should date her. You like her.
He's their biggest fan of them. He's going behind the scenes, trying to make them hang out in the same location.
Oh, he is definitely the wingman.
He's so funny.
He's like, so good.
There's a lot of like secondary characters in this that they really flesh out really well because of how they have relationships with like the main characters, and it's really well done. So like the show has so much going for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say it doesn't have going for it is that its marketing lied about what the show was.
Yeah.
It's like
I really wasn't. I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this show, but I like might as well. It's popular. Let's do an episode. Yeah, do it for the episode. And then I started watching. I was like, oh no. Oh no,
this is good.
I am here.
I was like, oh,
I think
when she appears that at the end of like the second episode, it's like, oh, Jessie's like, oh, this is not what I thought.
I was like, and this is like not just. I mean, I probably would have really liked it like a lot in terms of if that wasn't there, but like all the characters were still the same because like the found family aspects of everything was so great, like especially with the like filming crew, like everybody was just so nice. And what I do like appreciate about this show is that it could have gone a lot darker and a lot heavier if in reality everyone was against her, but like it really was the people who are the reason who created her anxieties and her PTSD and everything that like has happened were the evil people, and everybody else in her life were warm, kind people. Like they could have made this like reality show crew be a little bit like sneaky, because like, you know, they were trying to get the leads to fall in love so that their show was good, but they also were like very like, we're not going to make it happen if you don't want to.
They're like, listen, everyone watching this show knows that it's fake. Don't worry about it.
And I know that, like, I understand part of it was how her manifestation started to grow even more because she was putting it into a place where she was, like, really happy and really loving herself and thinks she's, like, good of herself. And that's when, you know, her Do-Re-Mi character comes in to, like, ruin everything. But it just, like, it was so nice to have that group be so fun. Not just because I really like found families like that. It's just like helped the characters and helped this kind of really, really hard. Because like the way she is who she is such a terrible story. Like it's just so bad.
Yeah.
Like you needed that. Like it's not even just like humor. It's just like lightness and sweetness.
It's like, it's so bad that it's like the fact that the uncle and aunt who adopted her didn't immediately put her into therapy because they hated her is actually criminal neglect. Like it's actually like they should be in jail.
Absolutely. And to like keep tormenting her when she's like older still too.
Yeah, like they were trying to almost, I'm not sure blackmail would be the correct term, but they were trying to threaten, like, we're going to tell him blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I've already told him everything about me.
Did. Like,
what are you talking about?
That was the one thing that I really, really loved about this was that, like, at the end, they sort of would do, like, a cliffhanger, and you're like, oh, no. You know, like, you knew what they were trying to go for is, like, those tropes. They were like, oh, and we're going to trick you with this trope that, like, oh, these two people that they both had crushes on come back into their lives, and will they stay together? And you're like, yes, they will, because the two characters that you've created are not going in that direction. And then that's the very first thing they do in the next episode is like, okay, bye. Thanks. Nice to know ya. Like, it's just like
nice try,
like
but no.
They were in every situation in those last few episodes. It was like once they were together, they were together, and they were like they told each other everything they needed to tell each other about their histories and about who they were, and so they couldn't They couldn't pull those little like stupid misinformation, whatever nonsenses, because they were like, yeah, he knows. I told him. Like, and he's like, yeah.
And like the miscommunication between the two leads were like on like other things. They weren't like bad things. It was just like two doofuses who don't realize they like each other, and then they like are constantly like, it's never like, I mean, like she'd feel sad about it or like, you know, it'd be a little bit heavy, but it wasn't like terrible things. Like when it mattered, they communicated really well about things.
We talked about her being messed up, but he had a really messed up childhood too, with his dad having like both of his wives, and they all hung out together, kind of thing, and like
they were forced
to be amicable. That messed up.
That clearly messed up his picture of relationships, right? Like he
bowled like, in a lot because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It also like didn't help that his brother, played by our friend of yours, Sung Woo-jun, being the most just selfish piece of shit. Like, but like you can't even hate him.
Yeah, like, it wasn't like vicious.
You've all met this person in your life where you're like, they are so self-absorbed and they don't notice how their actions affect other people. But they're so affable.
Yeah.
And they're so just like fun-spirited that you're like, I can't even stay mad at you because I know this isn't on purpose.
Yeah, it's just
you're
like
just stupid.
In the moment, let's go on backpacking. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that he pieced out to like go on his like road to Santiago or whatever.
Yeah.
But he just never came. He never saw him again.
I feel like that was perfect. Yeah, that was exactly who he is.
Okay, like, so like if you're listening to this episode and go ahead.
Oh, I was just he says this stuff that causes her to like break up with him, causes that his ex-fiance to break up with him. But even then, it's like Natalia said, he's so affable, he's so likable that like he's calling her going, well, we should get back together, and she can't give a really good reason why they shouldn't get back together. And then like the manager is like, well, did he cheat? Because you can't go back after cheating. She's like, right, you're right, you can't. So she lies and says that she's been cheating because that's the only way she can figure out how to like solidly break it off with this reasonably nice person that she should probably still want to marry, but she's like, I just don't.
But she's like, but no,
it's not the right choice.
No, she like, shouldn't want to marry him. He would be the worst husband on the planet.
Oh my god, he would be terrible.
But not in like an abusive, mean way. Just in a he doesn't have the mental capacity to think about other people.
No, he doesn't.
He would be a roommate. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
And can we say how many men are kind of like that in general?
Yeah.
Yes,
man-child. He's a man-child.
Yeah.
And you know what? The younger manager was the perfect rebound to permanent you can possibly hope for. Because he was like, I'm caring. I know all about women's issues because that's been my entire job. I have steady employment. I care about other people. I think you're cool. I respect your job. We work in the same field. And she's like, son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, right? Like, and even with that, like when we were saying before about how, like at the end, you couldn't break up the main character with miscommunication and stuff. They had their moment. The side couple had their moment too. And it got cleared up so quickly where he was just like, no, like that's not my apartment
they
anymore.
Didn't draw it out.
Like, oh, okay. Move. Boom, we're back together. Like it was
stupid.
I literally
fine. He was like,
live with your ex-boyfriend's brother.
Right.
Like
I don't live there anymore. I thought you were at the office. I was at the office. And she's like, oh, now I feel stupid. He's like, okay. And then they kiss and make up.
You should probably, they didn't show this, but you should probably go back to that lady's apartment and explain what happened.
The problem with everything. Awkward.
I just put that out there. You kind of threw a wrench in some dude's wonderful moving day.
It'd be really cute. If it was a movie, like a cute post like credit scene.
Yeah, there would be post credit.
She's like, "Hi, I need to apologize. Like, here's a little like flower bouquet or something, right? Like just left at the door.
Sorry about that misunderstanding. It was the wrong apartment. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I was gonna say the little girl actress that they got to play her as a child was so good.
She was
also so cute.
Also, the little girl actress who played the Japanese guy's niece, like she was really good.
Yeah, she was. She was so funny.
She was like, "Dude, you have a crush." Like,
yeah.
He was like, "No."
Yeah. He's like, "No,
no."
She's like, "Yeah, duh."
Yeah, dog. You do.
I did love his manager. Like, she was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Both the managers were just so cool. It was they were such good relationships between the actor and the manager.
Which I think is how how it isn't a lot of the times between managers and talent, but how I don't think so. Should be for like the health and safety of both manager and talent.
Yeah.
But alas,
there are
the
some,
real world.
I guess, but like, yeah.
I also liked how the Japanese actor's character, he matured. Like he had a whole arc going on, even though like he didn't even have to. They could have not. Like they could have just been like, he was in and out and that's what we did and it was cute. Sure. But like they allowed that character to mature and they showed that it like helped his success and how that was going to expand his opportunities. And I also thought it was cool how they did allow that character to like learn Korean and how like he was obviously learning other languages and how that was helping him, which like played into the whole like themes of the show and whatever.
Yeah, that was definitely a power friendship type thing because he finally like stopped being walled off and being like so like conceited, and he like started to, especially with like with the actress, he like started to have like feelings, but he really didn't have feelings. He just wasn't interpreting like
friendship
correctly. He's just, I'm actually like, I enjoy being with this person, and he didn't realize that's like what like just human relationships are,
what friends are.
You're like a friend, you're like you're a friend, and you're like a sunny friend that like brightens my day. And it's better.
Like looking at the world a little bit better. And like so it was nice that like his transition really was, it was like with her, and then like kind of being forced to like interact with all the staff and crew a bit more, and like becoming friends with them and doing these like silly things that like maybe like ruin his little cool vibe and stuff, but
cool
like
guy image,
like letting it go. And like that, like I don't think it was like, he's not a character who I think like was actively like thinking about walling off. It was just like part of his like nature, but like it was fun watching his character just get like so much more like cool and laid back and like wanting relationships with people that were just like friendships, or even just like
that didn't
good
that didn't have any monetary connections to.
And I think that some dramas, definitely like older dated dramas, it would be like, oh, it's because she's so amazing, and it's like that really that's not what this was. Like, I mean, it might be the first thing that kind of like took the first chink out of the armor type thing, but then like it really expanded to other people around
I would
him.
also say, I don't know like if for sure this is what they were trying to do. I think he saw her like really fall in love with the interpreter, and that's what he was picking up on, and he liked watching that. Like I know he did like eventually he figures out that like they're together, but I think when he's first like getting into her, it's because he's watching her fall in love with someone else, and he's like, picking up on that, but like he doesn't understand that it's not like him.
Right. Which like understandable miscommunication, given she's getting giddy from hearing the interpreter's voice saying stuff, and like he's thinking I'm the dude in front of her. Like logically it should be, and I'm pretty. So like of course.
And this is like a romantic like travel show.
We are the ones in the same physical pretty space being pretty together, therefore it should be.
It's like, oh, joke's on you. There's a man with eyes full of yearning just off camera one. God, Kim Sun-ho can like yearn through the eyes.
He definitely was a yearner.
Like, a yearner.
Like, I have emotions even when I don't like talk about them.
Which I rarely do.
I really appreciated his character being so emotionally constipated for so long. Like, the thing is, I deeply felt that. So, like, I was like, buddy, I feel you. Like,
these characters all felt really real. Like, it didn't feel like, even when she's, you know, in like her dissociative state where she's like her evil version, she wasn't evil.
No.
She was just traumatized.
Protecting her in a bad way. Like, she was. Like, that's what like, it's not the good way. It's not the right way to protect her. But they were doing what they felt was best to protect her.
So I'm going to say the difficulty I had with the show, like, I adored the show. I struggled with, we had some longer conversations between the two main characters. And I remember specifically episode 6, and I think there was a second one a couple episodes later or something. It was, they'd have these, it was kind of like their breakup conversations. Let's just call them that. But as far as what was actually being said, or at least what was being said English side, I was always like, why are we so upset? Like, both characters felt like they were like massively overreacting, and that was the point. Really. But I had to go back and rewatch like these conversations a couple times, because I'm like, and I was paying attention. I was like, did I miss something? Like, because I was trying to figure out, because he would get so mad at her or something, and I'd be like, she didn't really do anything like terribly egregious that I could figure. Like, I kept being like, I feel like I'm kind of confused, because like,
I feel like something was lost in translation.
Because because he's such a cool-headed character in general, but he would like really like not blow up at her, but he'd be like, he'd just turn his emotions off, and that was kind of his. So it was like, it was kind of their versions of hurt that were like the butting up against each other when they were having these conversations. And then, of course, we started being more explicit about the language that you're speaking, I'm not quite getting. And then it's like, if we really get into it, like the way we're discussing emotions is probably completely different, like what we're actually trying to say. And they kind of wouldn't let each other finish their whole monologue, and therefore then we would step away way before we probably should have. So like, I got what was happening, but like, I'm not saying the conversations were bad. They weren't. It was just always like, wow, a lot of hurt just happened, and I feel like no one actually did anything wrong. Like, I was like,
I do think that it was like just a combination of stuff that like led to it being muddled, and like one of that is our translation side. But I also kind of thought of it as like he was finally letting go of his massive crush with
his brother's girlfriend,
who he's had for years, and it's like presumably he's not even looked at anyone besides her. So it was him not understanding that he was pissed off because he had like let go of those feelings and was like going for her, and then she was like being like, you don't want me because this, and then like, that's fine, I'll just like stop talking to you, or like, you know, not pursue this anymore. And he just getting angry because he just doesn't know those emotions or how to deal with those emotions, because he's so like, he hasn't had those relationships, like or enough of those relationships to have enough. But I think like between that and they're probably hyping it up, because that is the central part of the show, is the translation miscommunication thing.
Right.
Plus our like side, it like did get little muddled, because I also think that like I've noticed in Korean dramas, they do things that like purposely to like mislead you in a way that like doesn't follow through. Because like someone will react to something like they understand like this subtext that we don't what is like going on, and then 2 episodes later they'll make it seem like they did not pick up on it at all, and I don't know what you're talking about, which is something that I've seen Korean dramas do a lot. So I think it's just like I think
I get really confused when that happens, because it makes me question,
like, did I misinterpret what I saw?
Yeah, it's hard because like when it's not your first language and you're just like faith like on this translation, and like also like just some things just are going to be muddled in translation because it's like just not.
That's just how it goes. Those idioms and stuff they don't always fully go over.
Right. Especially when you're trying to translate in like a kind of like a standard way because you want your entire platform, like, not as a bad thing, but like you want it to be in a kind of like all the translations are at this, like, these are the things that you do, kind of like set standards so that all the translators will do that same thing. So like all the shows that you do, like you watch that were in that, you know, like that get translated are doing those certain things, and it just gets messed up sometimes. And then just gets hard. I
really loved the show. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And you're wondering, why not a 10 out of 10? I'm going to tell you why not a 10 out of 10 right now. So I feel like a lot of this show hinged on her needing catharsis over what happened to her to move on with her life, right? And you get a little bit of that with her and the uncle and the aunt. Sure. You couldn't have taken 7 minutes of runtime to like meet the mom.
Here's what's funny.
The main catharsis, the main point that she needed to deal with.
On my side, I gave it a 9.5 because we did not see her do anything with her mom. I think that it was, I think it was great that the like main thing that she had, this mom thing, she didn't let anybody see it. The audience didn't get to see it. He didn't get to see it. It was her thing, and she did it off screen. All on her own. Nobody else was like watching her.
I would have liked to cheer for her finally getting rid of her demons, physical and emotional. But this is I think you see, you can have different opinions about media and still be the best of friends. You don't have to make it a whole thing.
I'm just a little bit mad at you. No, I'm kidding.
Disagree moment that we're having right now.
But I did have a good time trying to explain this show to my husband. He's like, right after I finished it, or as I was like nearing the end or something, I was like, I must explain this like second character that she has. Like, and I don't know why. It was just kind of like this perverse, because I knew I wouldn't do a good job of it. He was just staring at me. Like, I mean, he cared, but he was like, I don't think you're doing a good job explaining
the way that, like, when I watch shows, I will occasionally give my husband unasked for updates while he's not watching the show about what has now happened in the show that I'm watching, that he knows nothing but the barest plot of what I previously told him when I started watching him. So I came in, I was like, big plot twist, honey. I'm like, he now has another identity that was the hallucination she was seeing. And he's like, whoa, that sounds crazy. And I'm like, and that's physically how he interacts with my media.
That's pretty much how my husband, he was like, yep, that sounds interesting. I'm like, it is.
Wow. I started watching it with my sister, and then like we couldn't keep watching together, so we started watching it separately. And at one point she says to me, she's texting me, and she says, I was sitting here and she was finding the, like, I think we both did, we found some of the, like, the scenes where it was like the translation stuff and the TV show, we found that kind of draggy, and we were like, can we get back to the character, like the other stuff? And she's like, at one point she's watching this and she's like, why am I watching this show right now? Why don't I go back to watching that other show about the movie star with the personality? Wait, this is the same show. She's like, well, wait. I just gotta.
She went from the gif of the woman doing the math to the gif of the guy going, whoa, in one moment.
That reminded me, you know what I did like when they did the translation? When he was going to translate, they didn't didn't have the subtitles or whatever.
Yeah.
They only put it on when he wasn't translating it.
Yeah.
They purposely.
Which I think that was a smart choice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting you to do anything fun with this, but here you are.
Really good job. Like, all the actors and actresses, when they were speaking not Korean or not Japanese, they did a good job. Like, they were, I don't know, I don't speak Italian, I don't speak Japanese, I don't say, so I don't know how well Kim Sun-ho was actually delivering his lines, or if they had somebody, subbing over him, or something, dubbing over him. But he was doing it confidently. Like it came across confidently, unlike so frequently when we watch people supposedly being fluent in English in a K-drama, and it's so like they clearly have just memorized the syllables. They don't actually have any idea what they're saying, and everything flowed and was confident. It seemed like he was translating. It seemed like he knew what he was saying, even if he didn't. It came across well. So
felt like he did.
Yeah.
Which would have been a real bummer in a show about so many languages. If he had been stumbling like half lines and like woodenly doing everything, it would have been rough.
That actually reminds me, like, something I enjoy is when you get the two main characters or even secondary characters or whatever, when they get to have support around them. Like, it's not like, let's say the lead female character gets to have friends, but like the lead guy has to be a lone wolf other than like the romantic love line or whatever. I enjoyed how Kim Sun-ho's character got to have like really supportive friends and like who spoke all these other languages, which like seemed that made sense for the character.
From the cafe.
Like he was charming.
Italian friend.
So they would tease him. So it wasn't just for teasing for haha, but it was also like being supportive. And they would listen to what he wanted. They weren't going to force him to date the girl or something weird if that's not what he wanted. Like, they always, if you need everyone was always listening to like what the main characters were saying they desired in a given moment. And like, I don't think that should have to be so refreshing, but it is. Like, when you're getting a lot of good support that like adjusts to what the character wants as that develops. So like same thing with the lead gal, the manager, like she didn't have as many people around her until it became like the film crew once they got to know her and stuff like that. But prior to that, it was mostly the manager, but he would tease, but he would also actually pay attention to what she wanted and adjust accordingly. And that is actually huge. And so everyone felt very emotionally like
real in a weird way.
They would react appropriately and supportively. Like, and so maybe that's like kind of the magic of dramas and how it makes you warm, fuzzy, found family vibes, all that stuff. Yeah. But it was charming. Like, it helped, I thought.
Like even the scene where the brother's ex-fiance is out drinking with her girlfriends and she's like, nah, that's done. And they're like, oh, we can help you find someone. She's like, actually, I've got like a young hunk already. Let me show you a picture. And then he's there. But like, they're all very supportive.
And he's younger and they're like, yeah, girl.
Exactly.
I was actually curious to see like, oh, is he that much younger? He's a year younger than her in real life. Like, it's not a real Noona romance. It's a fake out Noona. He just has a real cute little face.
He does have a little cute face.
Yeah. But, it was a really enjoyable show.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was really well done.
I'm even gonna watch this show, and it's a 9.5 for me. Like, that's crazy.
It's fun when surprises like that happen. But
it's like, absolutely.
I will say, I don't think it's a show for everybody. I do think that there are probably, like, I can't even tell you what would be triggering for some people with this type of thing, but there are probably some triggery things. Or like I said, if you really do staunchly want like a clinical look at mental illness, that this is not it.
This ain't the one, champ.
Like, it is more of a theatrical, artistic visualization of it and how it affects the character and the relationships and stuff. So like, but I do think because we are seeing trauma visualized still, I do think that there are probably a fair amount of triggery things that, especially if you do have, abuse or whatever triggers.
To be honest, I don't think it's very fair of them to advertise it the way that they do without kind of like to make that a surprise. Like, just tell people that's what it's about, because it starts. You don't have to give away. There was still plenty of plot twist, but like in the last 4 episodes, there was a lot happening. We were learning a lot of new things, but you can advertise that that's what this is about, that we're looking at this woman's sort of
well, if
descent.
you like all the translations of the like article that was like first given about the synopsis is this MDL one, they were screwed from the beginning too.
Yeah,
right.
And the thing is, it's like I get this as like I understand the thought as a marketing technique, right?
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is the same thing that would happen with a show like Suspicious Partners and Lovely Runner and, My Shy Boss and all this, is if you give the wrong impression of what genre the show you're advertising is, people are going to be upset at the show when they realize that you lied to them.
Absolutely.
Because listen, I love all those shows I mentioned, but the amount of people that were pissed off after episode 2 of Suspicious Partners, huge. Huge. I mean, the amount of people that were pissed off halfway through My Shy Boss.
I mean, huge. My Shy Boss, 2 episodes, and they had to put it on hiatus to I think
because
they
people were
skipped
so
a
mad.
week so that they could rework it all, because the people in Korea were so turned off by the way that it came across in the first episodes, which I personally thought were really good. But
they were.
Yeah.
But it's because they advertised it in the incorrect way.
As something different, right? And yeah. And I think it's okay with something. It works better with something like this, with a Netflix full season drop, because you can just go through it, right? And you don't have time to get mad about it. You just watch it, right?
You're in, you're out.
And there's not the time for like back in the day with My Shy Boss or something, where they can go, people are outraged, let's rework things because they're doing it on the fly and everything. But so that probably works in its favor for this one. But I still think there's no,
or you could just be truthful about the genre of show.
To just be honest about what you're putting out there, because I think you're going to find your audience.
You don't have to tell us the plot twist.
Even if all they had shown had been let's say a trailer, if all you showed was just a little bit of the hallucination aspect,
then people would know,
or anxiety aspect, just at least her having a big struggle, something weird going on, something odd going on with her, and not just a clip from her character, from the horror movie, but actually when her stressing out on the red carpet, that type of a thing. If they had just shown that, then we would know, something's up with that character. At least you would know that.
Yeah. Because like Jessie said, she wasn't interested in watching this at all. And then she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so how many people do you miss?
But
because
also,
they thought it was just going to be what it looks like it's going to be.
Because this is a normal type K-drama. There's a lot in this kind of psychological rom-com situation. And people will watch it. And Netflix has those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, I just it doesn't make sense to me in that respect. I understand you want to get the rom-com people, but this is still a highly loved kind of genre in Korean drama. So
not only are you missing the sort of the more I'm not going to call it a mellow, but just the straight romance and sort of off kilter people. You're also doing a disservice to the rom-com people who now feel they were sold a bill of goods, and that bill of goods was from El Messier Copper Merchant. You know what I mean?
And look at the poster.
Can't do it.
I looking at the poster, reading the thing, I would have thought, okay, this is going to be along the lines of something like Love Scout. A very realistic, sweet.
Did they even
romance,
ever even say about her accident? Was that ever a thing?
No, that's not.
So I think it's jarring. Her accident is jarring too, on its own, and then the other stuff is also it adds another layer. It just feels.
Yeah.
You could have had the accident in the trailer that happened in the first episode.
Yes.
If you said, I don't think in the MDL thing, it doesn't even really say anything about her becoming like a literal overnight success with this movie. You could have something of the movie in the poster because it was a dark and disturbing movie, and it would give you a sense that this is not exactly what you thought it was going to be. You know, like there's something maybe more going on, even if it was just a poster on the wall behind her of her looking like a psycho. And you're like,
with the axe,
okay,
right?
something about this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like,
but also, if you just read the MDL synopsis, that's a different show. I don't know what show that is, but it wasn't the one. It wasn't remotely the one that we watched.
Because she wasn't even when
it'd
she
be funny
had her other
changes, and now we're
personality.
going to sound crazy.
She wasn't snarky and mean when she had the other personality. She was more outgoing and more, I don't know, brighter or something.
The inhibitions were gone.
Yeah. But she wasn't mean. Like
I definitely didn't watch a trailer for this, so I don't know if it was in could have been in like an extended trailer. I mean, Netflix seems to make it like part of their like swoon worthy, but I feel like they try to make
everything part of their swoon worthy. So like, Netflix, we don't want to tell you your business, but we're here to tell you your business. You can be honest about what people are about to watch.
Yeah.
Well, like, and I thought that it would be nice to know that it's hard to characterize like what type of love line the main two characters end up having. Like, it would be hard to show that in a trailer, but the reality is it is kind of more of, it's kind of a more when I say mature plot line, I'm not meaning like sexual. I'm meaning
emotionally mature.
Emotionally mature. He was very careful, but not in a heroic, weird. Like, I mean, and it would have been hard to characterize that in a trailer, but still, like,
you could have mentioned the weird shit just a little bit.
A little bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have like the shadowy figure with the cake and the dead bird. Like, have something.
All you can do is just say something like, things aren't as they seem. Yeah. That's all you have to say. You don't even have to say what that is.
Yeah.
That could mean anything.
And then you could show like the aunt and uncle being weird. I mean, and that's all you need to say.
Literally, they could also just say family past and like,
there were
people would be like, okay, maybe there's going to be draining stuff with them, and it's true. There's some draining stuff with her family.
Because her family sucks. Every single member of anyone biologically related to her,
all of her doctors
psychotic.
suck
They're bad
for not
people.
helping her.
They're bad people. But this is not a bad show. This was an excellent show. It was good.
Amanda, did you end up liking it? Or were you...
I really, really liked the first episode and the last episode. I was, to be honest, kind of bored in the middle. Like, not all the time, but like, I felt like it maybe could have been a little tighter. Like it maybe... I felt like we spent way too long in Canada. Like, I felt like we spent too long in Canada.
I thought it was fun.
Getting excited about like
it took me a little while. I was like,
where are you doing?
They never. See, they only ever just said Canada. They didn't say like where in Canada, but I did eventually figure out they were in Calgary. It took me a while, but I was like,
finally someone in Alberta
a long time.
Kind of a Wild West kind of vibe to the town they were in or something. And I was like, okay.
But and then when I looked it up, that do that too.
So Valley or whatever and stuff. But I was like, what do you mean?
So I was like,
she's like, I've been really wanting to have
there's mountains in multiple places.
And it's like hot dogs from a food truck. And I was like, man, what are we doing?
I need you to be more specific. I need to know where you are.
In Italy, it was limoncello and eclairs or whatever, cannolis. But in Canada, it was food truck hot dogs. What are we doing?
Listen,
Come on now.
Listen, Amanda. I don't want to call Canada out, but were they wrong? Were they that wrong? I don't think
poutine or butter tarts or
that's Quebec. That's not Alberta. They weren't in Quebec.
Okay,
they were in Calgary. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Natalia, but poutine has made it across the country. It is everywhere now.
But like a hot dog, I've seen more hot dog stands Canada-wide than I have poutine stands. Just putting that out there. Just poutine that out there.
Even, you know what? Even
I mean, to be fair,
thing,
they were trying to find the most greasy, most calorie-dense food. because the whole thing, it was the setup because he was eating it.
Yeah, technically, Putin would have also probably been a better choice for that too. But we're not here to, Canada has many foods. A diverse mosaic of food and culture. Canada has lots of hot dogs. Don't worry about it.
Alberta is a big, like, beef, cattle situation.
It could have been a beef hot dog.
It's kind of like if you went to, like, Texas and you were like, I've heard Texas is really well known for its hot dogs. And you're like, like
New York Texas would be like,
steak? Barbecue even? Like, I don't know. It was just odd. I was like, okay, hot dogs. I mean, it did look like a good hot dog, but still.
It looked pretty. I was like,
come
stacked.
On. And apparently the cast did actually see the Northern Lights when they were filming.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's nice for them.
But yeah, and Sky, you liked it too.
Yeah. And I finished it. Yeah, I
she finished it first. Sky was the first among us. She was like sitting there waiting for us to finish.
Yeah. So, it was really hard for me to not, because like I wanted to be like, but I also didn't want to get Jessie's hopes up, because she's like a horror, like the character is also like in a horror movie and all this stuff. I was like, that doesn't mean Jessie's gonna like it. Like, I don't know. And then the Lee Ju thing, I was like, I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
I want to let her have some fun with it.
Yeah, like I was gonna let everyone.
Sky was just like,
she knew too much. She knew too much.
And halfway through, Natalia was like, ooh, this twist. And I'm like, girl, you wait. Like, I'm not gonna. Like, I was on the last episode. I was like, I'm not.
I knew that she was like way further ahead than I was. So I could be like, girl. Crazy shit happening.
I just kept saying, just buckle in more. Because there's things happening.
There's a lot.
I can't see any of them.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think if someone's wanting a super simple rom-com predictable, this is not it. There's more that we're digging into. There is trauma. There is, so like
that show does exist. It's not this one.
To be honest, the most maybe boring parts to me were the stuff that came across more straight rom-com-y. Like, I felt like they could have leaned into the other stuff more and I might have enjoyed it more, but like, yeah, like if that's what you're looking for, this is not the drama. Like, there's a lot going on in this drama. That is not the poster.
Yeah, the poster.
And if you're wondering if there are actually like kind of dating travel shows like that, there's all types of those types of Korean shows like that. Like that's totally
that's pretty accurate. Yeah. But that was Can This Love Be Translated? Our thoughts on that. I think that a lot of people would really like it as long as you go in knowing that the marketing ain't what you're about to watch. But we hope you enjoyed hanging out with us while we talked about it anyway. Anyway, if you liked this episode and you're like, damn, I wish I could hear their thoughts on more things, well, you're in love. We have 7 whole years of our thoughts on various things. I will say year 1, you can probably just skip. Go into year 2. We really hit our stride then, the really old episodes. We won't delete them because, we got to remember where we come from. But you can check all of them out wherever podcasts can be found, pretty much in audio, on video, on YouTube, which if you're there, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I love reading y'all's YouTube comments. And also on our website, certifiednoonas.com, where we have every single episode we have ever done in a lovely little post. I put links, time codes, and to anything relevant. And yeah, that's where you can find all of that information. And if you just were like, wow, they watched a whole damn show for a weekly episode. Like they do an episode every week, and they took the time to watch a whole damn show for it. And you want to like send us a little tip thanks for the amusement that we bring you. You can go to patreon.com/certified Noonas to join the certified fan guy. Woo! Giving that little money fingers. No, we're not really money hungry. This is totally. We are not going to pressure it. We really appreciate everyone who has joined the fan family, but you are never obligated to do so. We know money these days a little bit tight, but if you have a couple extra bucks and you feel like sending our way to help with our hosting costs and stuff, it's patreon.com/certified Noonas. We have a little movie night. We had a really fun movie night just like last week. We had a lot of fun. We have little extra mini episodes every once in a while that are just for the patrons. And we just really love our fan family. We think they're great. They're genuinely fun. So we hope you have a fantastic week. As always, it's where we are. It is midwinter, and the flu do be going around. So please mask up and protect yourself. Use some hand sanitizer, as always. Protect yourself and your communities in any way you can, in various means and purposes that you can think of. Just take that what you will. And as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.